Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and greeting everyone. Chapter 2, Energy, Part 1. 2.1 Non-renewable energy, which is including fossil fuel or nuclear power. Non-renewable energy. A non-renewable resource is a natural resource that cannot be remade or regrown at a scale comparable to its consumption. Non-renewable energy is energy that comes from the ground and is not replaced in relatively short amount of time. Fossil fuels are the main category of non-renewable energy. Another source of this energy is nuclear power. Non-renewable energy resources. Non-renewable type of energy can only be used once. There is a finite amount of these materials on the earth, so they will run out eventually. Non-renewable resources make up approximately 95% of the world's energy. This example of non-renewable energy: oil, fossil fuel, gas, biomass, fuel wood, coal, and mineral or nuclear power. Fossil fuel: coal, crude oil, and natural gas. Coal, petroleum, oil, and natural gas are considered non-renewable because they cannot be replenished in a short period of time. These are called fossil fuel. These resources come from animals and plants. They have died millions of years ago and then decomposed to create a usable source of energy for humans. 10 things about fossil fuel. The main type: oil, coal, and natural gas, take millions of years to form, cannot be replaced once used, which is non-renewable, found beneath the ground, can be difficult to get to, burn to give off heat, burn in power station to generate electricity, give off carbon dioxide when burned. Fuel wood is a fossil fuel. One day they could run out. How is coal made? Before the dinosaur, many giant plants died in swamps. Over millions of years, the plants were buried under water and dirt. And the last heat and pressure turned the dead plant into coal. Okay. Type of coal: anthracite, bitumen, lignite. Anthracite, the hardest and has more carbon, which give it a higher energy content. Bitumen, the medium type, and the softest and the low in carbon but high in hydrogen and oxygen content, which is lignite. How are oil and gas made? Tiny sea plants and animals died and were buried under ocean floor. Over time, they were covered by layers of silt and sand. Over millions of years, the remains were buried deeper and deeper. The enormous heat and pressure turned them into oil and gas. Today, we drill down through layers of sand, silt, and rock to reach the rock formation that contain oil and gas deposits. Crude oil. Crude oil is a black, viscous slurry of different hydrocarbons, other organic molecules, and trace amounts of metal that can be separated and chemically changed into useful fuel and lubricant like gasoline, diesel, propane, jet fuel, and even wax. Okay, there's a history, a story. Okay, the process of crude oil. Okay. Conclusion: fossil fuels take millions of years to make. We are using up the fuels that were made more than 300 million years ago, before the time of the dinosaur. Once they are gone, they are gone. So it's best to not waste fossil fuel. They are not renewable. they can really be made again. We can save fossil fuel by conserving energy. Okay, this is natural gas. Okay, so the last one for part 1, nuclear power, one of the type of non-renewable energy. Introduction to nuclear power. First, uranium was discovered in 1789 by Martin Klaproth, a German chemist named after the planet Uranus. The science of atomic radiation, atomic change, and nuclear fission was developed from 1895 to 1945, much of it in the last 6 of those years. Over 1939 to 45, most development was focused on the atomic bomb. From 1945, attention was given to harnessing this energy in a controlled fashion for naval propulsion and for making electricity. Since 1956, the prime focus has been on the technological evolution of reliable nuclear power plant. Nuclear reaction. Nuclear reaction deal with interaction between the nuclei of atoms, including of nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. Both fission and fusion process deal with matter and energy. Fission is the process of splitting of a nucleus into two daughter nuclei, leading to energy being released. Fusion is the process of two parent nuclei fused into one daughter nucleus, leading to energy being released. Okay, from the figure, fission reaction. A classic example of a fission reaction is that uranium-235. Uranium-235 plus 1 neutron, this will produce 2 neutron plus Kr92 plus Ba142 plus energy. In this example, a stray neutron strikes an atom of U-235. It absorbs the neutron and becomes an unstable atom of U-236. It then undergoes fission. This neutron can strike other U-235 atom to initiate their fission. Fusion reaction. A classic example of a fusion reaction is that of deuterium, heavy hydrogen, and tritium, which is converted to helium and release energy. Nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant can be divided by two types. First, the pressurized water reactor (PWR) and the second, boiling water reactor (BWR). Okay. So, what is the difference between this nuclear power plant? Okay, please discuss. Thank you.